Hello friends, in today's session we are going to discuss the case of K.M.Nanavati versus State of Maharashtra, which is related to section 300, 307, 417 and 423 of the IPC. Nanavati, a naval officer in the Indian Navy, shot and killed Prem Ahuja after discovering his illicit relationship or affairs with Nanavati's wife Sylvia. Following this, Nanavati surrendered himself to the police. During the trial, the jury in the session court found Nanavati not guilty. However, the court was not satisfied with the verdict and referred the case to the High Court for reconsideration. The High Court convicted Nanavati and sentenced him under Section 302 of the IPC. Nanavati then appealed to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled that the defense of grave and sudden provocation is only valid when the crime is committed in a moment of uncontrolled rage. If the accused had enough time to cool down, the act would be considered premeditated murder. The court also stated that a jury's decision could be overturned or overruled at the discretion of the judiciary. Ultimately, the Supreme Court upheld the High Court's decision and dismissed Nanavati's appeal. Now let us study this case in details. K.M.Nanavati Appellant vs. State of Maharashtra Respondent. AIR 1962 SC 605 reference. Case. The case covers the following legal aspects. Exception under section 300 of IPC. Second, explanation of section 302, 307 attempt to murder, section 417 cheating and fraud, and section 423 regulation of fraudulent execution of document related to property of IPC. 3. Duties of a jury. The jury's role is to evaluate evidence impartially and determine the guilt or innocence of the accused. Although the jury system has been abolished in India, adherence to fair investigations and legal procedures remains essential. Facts of the case. K.M.Nanavati, who was the second in command of the Indian Navy ship INS Mysore at the time of the alleged murder, married Sylvia in 1949, and they had 3 children. Due to his naval duties, Nanavati had to live in various locations. Eventually, he moved to Bombay, now Mumbai, where the deceased Prem Ahuja resided. Prem Ahuja was an automobile businessman who lived with his sister Maimi Ahuja in his building named Shreyas around 1957. He moved to another building called Jeevan Jyot on Sitalwal Road. In 1956, Agnik, a mutual friend of both Nanavati and Ahuja, introduced Prem Ahuja and his sister to Nanavati. At the time of his death, Ahuja was an unmarried man, 34 years old. Nanavati was frequently away from Bombay due to his official duties, during which time his wife Sylvia developed a romantic and illicit relationship with Prem Ahuja. When Nanavati returned from his ship, he tried to express affection towards his wife, but she was unresponsive on multiple occasions. On April 27, 1959, Nanavati asked his wife if she had remained faithful to him, to which She shook her head, indicating that she had not. The same day, Sylvia confessed to her husband about her illicit relationship or affairs with Prem Ahuja. Nanavati then went to his office, procured a revolver and six bullets under false pretenses, loaded the weapon, and proceeded to Prem Ahuja's office. Upon not finding him there, he went to Ahuja's residence and shot him dead before surrendering himself to the police. He was taken into custody and charged under Section 302 murder of the IPC and presented before the session court. Trial in session court. During the trial, Nanavati claimed that he had an argument with Prem Ahuja during which two shots were accidentally fired, leading to Ahuja's death. A special jury was constituted to hear the case. The jury acquitted Nanavati with a verdict of 8-1 in his favor. However, the session court was not satisfied with his verdict, leading to the case being referred to the High Court. High Court verdict. High Court found Nanavati guilty and sentenced him under Section 302 of IPC. In response, Nanavati appealed the decision before the Supreme Court of India. Supreme Court proceedings. The Supreme Court considered several important questions, including whether under Section 3073 of the CRPC the court had the authority to overturn the jury's verdict. Second, whether the High Court had the right to reconsider the evidence under Section 307 of the CRPC. Third, whether Nanavati fired the gun impulsively without an intention to kill, which would qualify as culpable homicide rather than murder. The appellant argued that he lost control over his emotions and fired the gun impulsively without the intention to kill. Therefore, the crime should fall first exception of the Section 304 culpable homicide not amounting to murder of IPC. The Supreme Court stated that homicide is the act of one person killing another person, but under certain circumstances it is not considered as murder. A murder will not be treated as homicide under the following circumstances. The accused did not initiate the act of killing. Second, the victim provoked the accused seriously. The act occurred in a state of unconsciousness. The accused lost control due to provocation. Number 5, the crime was committed under extreme emotional distress, leading to a loss of self-awareness. 6, the accused killed only the person who provoked them. Could be proven that Prem Ahuja provoked Nanavati, the case might fall under first exception of Section 423 of CRPC, otherwise not. Final judgment. The Supreme Court ruled that when Sylvia informed Nanavati about her illicit relationship with Prem Ahuja, Ahuja was not present at the time. Therefore, it could not be concluded that Nanavati lost self-control at that moment. Even if such an argument was accepted, Nanavati, concern for his wife's future, indicated that he was in control of his actions and planning his next steps rationally. Nanavati first went to the cinema with his wife and children, then left Children there went to his ship to retrieve the revolver and ammunition, completed some official paperwork, and then proceeded directly to Auzad's residence. The entire sequence of events gave him nearly 3 hours to regain control over his emotions. However, it was evident that his only intention was to kill Prem Ahuja. The fact that Nanavati abused the victim before shooting him was not considered sufficient evidence of a loss of control. Therefore, the crime did not fall under first exception of section 300 of IPC. Thus, the appeal was dismissed. Legal principles established. The test of sudden and grave provocation depends on the loss of self-awareness. External expressions of anger can still be within self-control and can be considered under section 300 of IPC. A person commits a crime after the provocation is subsided. They cannot claim sudden or grave provocation as a defense. The accused cannot seek protection under section 307 CRPC in the High Court. If the jury's verdict is unjust, it can be overruled. Please watch full video, share and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.